Hello and welcome to another daily devotion as we talk about prayers put into practice and the importance of faith formation. Now again, when you think of faith formation, you might think of Bible studies or Sunday school or confirmation, but it's really a lifelong learning about Jesus and God in our lives. And some of those are, classroom experiences or experience with teachers, but some of them are experiential. I remember that my youth group in high school used to take us and we'd make soup in our kitchen, and then we'd take it downtown to a sister church, St. Paul's, in the west side of Cleveland. And I remember one of the first times I went, I was in 8th grade, and as I was serving there at the soup kitchen, I saw a girl my age. And I just saw her from the side profile. I thought she was cute, an 8th grader, hormones going crazy. You think anybody's cute. And but then she turned her face, and it was very clear that somebody had hit her on the right side of her cheek and in her eye socket. It was all purple and blue. And I said, "Did you get into a fight?" And she said she fell down some stairs. And the pastor at St. Paul's told me, no, she has a dad who abuses her. And she comes here to be safe, to get away from him. And it went from a teenage hormonal experience to a realization that people are in a lot of different places than I was standing in my own shoes in my house. And the experiences that the church had put me in shoulder-to-shoulder distance with my neighbor, who Jesus calls me to love, but who I never might have met before because we came from different communities, different places of means or resources, certainly different family situations, although we had some similarities. And that's one of the things that really matters in faith formation, because to love your neighbors, you have to know your neighbors. And Jesus was always pushing his disciples to eat with those that they hadn't eaten with before, to break bread, to go to communities where people were diseased or leprous that they hadn't dared to go before, and to be light and salt alongside of people that they otherwise would have never crossed paths with before. And so I think also, in the same vein, as a pastor, years later, I was in a church bowling league. And there was this guy, Jim, who reminds me of the guys from the Bears skit on Saturday Night Live. Jim Swarsky. He talks like that. He's got the mustache and the dark glasses. Kielbasa, right? Anyway, that was Jim. And Jim had his own handyman business, and he did, home repair. And I said to him on the whim as he's getting ready to bowl, I said, "Jim, you need to come with us on one of these adult mission trips. You could help us in one of these building projects, like a habitat trip, as we're trying to fix some of these damaged storms." He's like, "You don't want me on a trip. I mean, I'm not. I'm in the bowling alley. I'm in the church so I can be in the bowling league. My mom goes to church." I was like, "No, Jim, I need you. You know your way around power tools and equipment. You could help teach the rest of the group. You'd be invaluable to this team as they try to minister to this family who's lost their home." It's like, "All right, I'll think about it." And, next week I asked him, "Jim, did you think about it? Are you coming?" He's like, "Oh, you're persistent, aren't you?" I kept after Jim. I asked him every week for probably 7 weeks, and finally he said, "All right, yeah, he asked me one more time. I'm going to put my check in. I'm going to go." All right, great. I'm going to hold you to it. Jim eventually became the leader of that church's. They had a parking lot project where they built 3 to 5 homes over the course of a weekend. And guess who was in charge of overseeing building these homes that were going to be trucked to people's places where people could live for habitat? It was Jim. And he said, "I never in a million years imagined that I would find God or have some kind of relationship with God. But as I was working on these homes and I was learning about others in our church and why they were there, and I was seeing this family and hearing their story, I saw God in a way that I didn't, I fall asleep during sermons, in a way I didn't see at church." I'm like, yeah, sometimes you've got to see it. You've got to open yourself to the experience, to really let God open your eyes to what's been there before, but you haven't been able to see. And so those kind of opportunities are also a vital part of faith formation and transformation that faith formation in its ministry does, not just for kids, but for the whole church. And what a beautiful thing it is when someone like Jim says, I'm not a churchy guy, becomes on fire for God. Wow, that's better than 1,000 sermons.